Hi, once again, pet parents. This is Soumya from PetFed India, your host for today. And as promised, today we are here with Vaibhav Khanna and Akshay Gupta, co founders of Flying Fur, a mobile grooming brand. Hi, Vaibhav, and hi, Akshay.
Hey,
Hey Soumya, how are you?
Good. I hope you guys are doing well too. Welcome to the live chat.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
All right. So, as a pet lover myself, it's going to be great to know how one can start a pet grooming business. The viewers who are watching us now, please feel free to drop in your comments drop in your queries in the comment section below, and they will surely answer them for you. So, Vaibhav Khanna is the co-founder of Flying Fur, which is just changing the way grooming is done in India by bringing the service to your doorstep. He is a chartered accountant by profession and started his career with KPMG before moving to a boutique consulting firm to work on advisory assignments. During this stint is when he realized his entrepreneur side and he started Flying Fur. Akshay Gupta here is the founder of PetFed and co-founder of Flying Fur, who partnered in this venture as he saw the prospective growth in the pet grooming industry and liked Flying Fur's innovative approach to a traditional business. Vaibhav and Akshay, once again, it's lovely to have you both here today. So let's dive right into our topic for the day, which is how to start a pet grooming business. And people who are joining us now, please, if you want to ask any queries that you have, in case you're interested in starting a business in pet grooming in the pet care industry, you can drop in your queries in the comment section below, and they'll answer them for you. So before we start and welcome some audience questions, let's talk about the first thing. Can you tell us why pets require regular grooming and why is it necessary to go to a grooming salon for our pets? Why cannot it be done at home?
Right. So I'll take this question here. So just like humans,
Akshay, do you want to take this question?
yeah, I'll answer this question. So, just like humans, pets also need to be groomed. It's a daily requirement. It's important for their hygiene, for their upkeep. Although obviously humans, we take a bath every day, so pets don't need to be groomed that often, but at least once a month is sufficient for most pets. So this is why pets require grooming because it's a basic hygiene thing. And generally, we take our dogs out for walk. They have long hair. They tend to get dirty very soon. And if you do not groom them often, whether at home or through a professional grooming salon, if you do not groom them often, they're likely to suffer from a lot of skin infections, skin diseases, hair-related issues, and things like that.
I think
Okay.
Soumya, there's a
All
major
right.
lag from your
And
side.
what are the key points that one should keep in mind when opening a pet grooming business and how much investment would it require?
So yeah, I'll take that question. Uh, I think there's some issue with the bandwidth at your end. There's a huge lag.
Vaibhav,
Should you want me to continue?
do you want to take this question?
Soumya, can you hear me fine?
Hello. Hi, can you hear me, Weber?
Yeah, you Akshay.
Perfect. I think there's some internet connection with Soumya's computer. I'll take this up with you. I think let's discuss all the points we
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to
sure,
discuss.
sure.
Perfect.
Should be a
So,
more informed discussion between the two points. Sure.
absolutely. So, where were we? I think we were
Uh,
talking about.
she just asked me the question about what is the investment in regards to pet grooming business.
Yes.
So I'll just briefly go through that. So basically, for a pet business, what we're looking at is starting a. If you look at a stationery salon, you'd basically be looking at your premises, which in all cases is either rental or owned. So rental is one of the major costs. There is a fixed cost attached towards furnishing the entire space, which would include the civil work and not just, I mean, the paint, everything, and also specific equipments which will be related to the dog grooming business, which are the tubs, the dryers, and stuff like that. There are a lot of variable costs also that you have to take into account, which will be basically the consumables that you use, the electricity, all of those expenses. Whereas salary cost would also include be a major part of the kind of cost that you're looking at in starting. The percentages of these costs would vary on where you start your business at, which is the location that you're looking at, which is the city that you're looking at.
Right. So, so all these investments are irrespective of whether you open a mobile grooming salon or a fixed grooming salon. Um,
So the advantage with the mobile grooming salon is the largest part of your cost, which is the rental, does not
right.
exist because you are a mobile spa. What you do is you buy a truck, which is then fabricated into a complete grooming salon, and
Right.
it's available to be accessed to anybody, and a doorstep service is provided. So from that angle, in terms of your variable cost or your regular monthly cost, the rentals do not exist, which is a huge advantage. In lieu of that, there is a consumption of petrol and diesel that happens.
Correct, correct. So if
Yeah,
we talk about the a fixed salon, we'll move on to the grooming, the mobile grooming later. So
sure.
what kind of investment do you think that one would need to start off the fixed salon versus a grooming salon, a mobile salon?
See, for a fixed salon, you can, I mean, try and go. There is a huge variety of options that you could have, and the amount of investment that you could make depending on the
Correct,
size, footage of the place that you're looking at, the location that you're looking at. In terms of, if we purely look at only the interiors and the equipment that you'd want to do, in a very standard size grooming salon, you would at least have to spend about 15 to 20 lakh rupees only
correct,
in the interiors and the equipment and everything that will be needed, which is a fixed investment that you would have to incur to start the business off. Whereas if you compare it to a mobile grooming truck, if I talk about flying first specifically, we you basically need to get a one-time fabrication cost that is involved in getting the truck ready to be used as a grooming salon, which is about 7 lakh rupees, which includes all the fabrication, the entire plumbing, the electrical connections, all your equipment, whether it is generator, AC, everything's included in that.
correct. So primarily because there's a huge rental cost, and we know the real estate is expensive. There's a massive amount of money which goes into a fixed
Stationary
salon,
salon.
and
Yeah.
then an upkeep obviously of that place.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in terms of also, there is a limitation on the geography you could target, right? There is only a certain radius of people that will come to you if you are at a fixed salon versus a
Correct.
mobile salon, which can basically cover a larger territory.
Correct.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're here, to answer people to tell people exactly how you should start a grooming salon, irrespective of whether it's a stationary one or a
Oh,
mobile one.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So even if it's a stationary one, although it has its limitation, but then again, there are a couple of plus points also, which I think there are in a stationary
No two
salon.
ways about it.
Yeah, so you can probably do a couple of more groomings per day when it's a stationary salon. you can look at a little higher footfall. When it's a mobile salon, we have a smaller van, so obviously we're limited by the number of groomings that we can do by one van.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also there is an opportunity to uh, upsell in a grooming salon with a lot of depending on the kind of real estate space that you've taken to kind of
Correct,
include a lot of pet products and all that you could sell.
correct, absolutely.
Yeah,
Cool. So let's move on to the next point of discussion.
sure.
One of the very important things for any business to understand is the target audience.
Yeah,
Be it pet grooming or selling or buying anything else, you need to understand the audience that you're catering to. What is your target group? So
right.
let's just talk about who are the potential clients, who are the potential customers for grooming salon.
Uh,
What kind of pets would I ideally be requiring grooming more often? How it differs from breed to breed or pets to pets, be it a dog
Sure,
or a
sure,
cat.
sure, sure. So basically, as you know, I mean, the pet population is on a rise in India. I mean, we've seen a huge growth in the last few years, and whereas I mean, and the majority of them are dogs. Dogs are also there are a variety of breeds I mean, with the long coats, long head, short hair dogs. So in case of dogs, they're the ones who require the most regular grooming, and specifically the long hair dogs because of a potential of I mean a lot of things. They need the grooming bit or the care is that much more.
Correct.
In comparison to them, if you look at cats. Cats do not require that kind of grooming. I mean, they do, but it is still comparatively a lot lesser.
Less frequent. Yeah.
Yes, the frequency is a lot lesser versus what we look at the dogs. And I mean, see, the target market is anybody who has a pet. Um,
Correct.
uh, Basically, what we're looking at and what we wanting to educate the customers about is that yes, there are possibilities of you grooming your dog at home. You don't need to get professional services like every 15 days, but to maintain the hygiene and sanitation, it is important to get a professional groomer or a service provider, or take your dog to a professional groomer to kind of be sure that it is I mean, the hygiene is maintained to the level that it needs to be done, because there is a certain level of skill that is required in variety of these services.
Yeah, correct. And
Right.
and not just I think the aesthetic skill that is required, but also a lot of technical skill because if you leave the dog any long coated dog, say for example like a Lhasa or someone, if you leave them a little wet, they're very prone to be falling sick. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely,
which tends to happen at home. If you don't dry your dog properly, it's a big mess. And
absolutely,
then, yeah, any professional groomer would also realize while grooming your dog if he has ticks or any if the coat is matted or stuff, so that can be resolved then and there, which you
absolutely,
would not be
absolutely,
able to at home. Correct.
absolutely,
That
and
makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Cool. So moving on to the next point of discussion, people usually feel that they need to be certified themselves to start a grooming salon. That's a common question which comes to anyone's mind that okay, if I am to open a grooming salon, do I need to be a groomer myself? Do I need to learn grooming myself? And if and are there any government regulations around it?
So in this case, there's a common misconception amongst the people that uh, you need to be a certified groomer, or is there to start a pet grooming business. The current situation is such that there is no certified body from the government side to kind of uh, certify people who are eligible to do grooming or start a
Correct.
grooming business. Whereas it's starting a business is basically about being understanding the business and understanding the financial implications of the business, and the fact that you really need to love your pets, and that's something that's very important, and you need to need to know that they need to be they're the first, they're their customers, and they need to be taken
Correct.
care of. But if you really look at it from a legal standpoint, you don't need to be a groomer yourself for you to start a business. But having said that, it is very important that whoever is doing the grooming, even at your salon, is either trained through experience or has some certification with whichever professional bodies that exist in our country. Some of them are doing good work. They and or have taken some sort professional grooming kind of a course from any of these institutes, and have a practical experience of grooming dogs. And that is something that is important. But from a purely legal standpoint, it's not something that's required.
Correct, correct. So basically, there is no government body which regulates this thing that you need to be a certified groomer. But still, even though there is no government body, it's very important for us to make sure that whoever is giving the services, it's important for them to be trained in the job, even if they do not.
Absolutely.
Even if they do not have like a certificate from a government body, which might not be very clear to a lot of people, they should at least have 5 to 10 years of experience. They should be trained under someone who has had a 5 to 10 years of experience in pet grooming particularly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, it's a practical job. It's a thing that human has to
No,
do it with their hands.
it's a skill based job. And I mean, the more experience and the more
Correct.
years under your belt, the better it is. And there needs to be certain technical aspects of which you need to be aware of before you get into the business. That's definitely very important.
Correct, correct. Cool. So,
Yeah.
so next thing is that from a consumer standpoint,
Yeah.
how is doorstep grooming different as compared to a fixed grooming salon? Do you think that there's any difference in the kind of services, or from the person who is taking that service from a grooming service like a flying four?
See, so if you really look at it from a service perspective in terms of what is the infrastructure that is provided in a stationary salon versus in a mobile grooming salon, there is absolutely no difference. We provide the only difference is that we are maybe more convenient because we come to your doorstep. But in really, if you really look at it from a perspective of what are the equipments that we use, how is the whole process happening? There's no difference in it. The van is fully equipped with a tub. There is hot and cold water supply that is pumped through a motor, which makes it sure that there is enough pressure on the water. There is a hydraulic grooming table adjustable, which is to the as per the size of the dog. There's a dryer that we use in terms of which is a very powerful dryer for the dogs. The trimmers, everything, all from an infrastructure perspective, it is absolutely the same. The only advantage being that it comes to your doorstep. It's not a service wherein our groomers will enter your house and use your say your bathroom or your balcony or anything. The entire thing happens inside our van, which is properly cleaned, sanitized after every grooming, before every grooming. Your groomers are all checked in the morning. So all of that, all precautions, I think from that aspect, from a consumer standpoint, if you really look at it from an experiential aspect, there is no difference, except for the fact that yeah, you don't have to take your dog to a particular salon.
Correct, correct. So in terms
Yeah,
of the equipment, in terms of how the grooming is done, how the service is being provided, it's exactly the same. There's hot and
absolutely.
cold water. There's the van is air conditioned. There's
Yeah,
pressure. The same sort of equipments are being used.
absolutely. So all high end equipments, top of the line that we use, that I mean, we don't want to compromise on the quality of the service at all.
Correct, correct. So now coming to why a mobile grooming van and not a fixed salon? Why do you think is the primary USP of the business? How is it beneficial? How is it more beneficial for the customer versus a fixed salon?
See, it's quite. I mean, if you really look at it from the concept, it's very obvious that what we're selling, obviously having keeping in mind the quality of the service, it is the convenience that we're selling. There are a lot of pets that have car sickness, that they would not are not very comfortable to travel in this. And if you really look at it from a current situation perspective, from a COVID perspective, a lot of pet parents would also not want to unnecessarily step out of the house and go to an area which is frequented by a lot of people. So what we are essentially selling is convenience to both pets and pet parents. by coming to their doorstep and giving them this service. Uh, it is essentially the fact that the whole hassle of taking your dog to a taking your dog in a car to a salon, waiting there, getting them serviced, and then coming back, all that hassle has been removed. We ensure a similar, or if not a better experience for the pet, definitely a better experience for the pet parent, and kind of be able to give them a service at their convenience, their time of convenience, their choice, their timing. So all of that is something that we I feel definitely stands out for a mobile grooming salon versus a fixed grooming salon.
So yeah, so makes sense. So you've basically mobile grooming salon is sorting out all the traditional hassles of going to a fixed salon. You don't have to take
Absolutely.
out time out from your day particularly. The van reaches you at your convenience. So
Absolutely.
if I were to balance it, it's equivalent to going to a grocery store and buying groceries for yourself or ordering from Big Basket.
Yeah,
Uh,
everything is right now online. I just got my carpet dry cleaned online, and a guy from urban company came, and
yeah,
that's the kind of convenience. I mean, that is what we're offering, and that is what is currently what is the need of the hour, specifically if you look at it from a global standpoint of pandemic also. I
dynamic,
mean, the
yeah,
fact that you don't really want to step out for anything that is not absolutely necessary, and the
correct,
fact that someone is going to come to your doors. And having said that, you don't want to let your pets be neglected, right? Their grooming needs still stand the way they were, whether it's pandemic or not. You still need to care for them, their hygiene, and the fact that if you can have someone come to your doorstep only adds to the convenience of it. And unfortunately, looking at my hair, I don't have that facility of getting a haircut at home. I could try it now, urban company, but the fact that we still need our the pets to be maintained, their cleanliness and their hygiene, and that is what we're offering.
right,
And
perfect.
we've seen a huge uptake in the kind of customer base, a new customer base that is calling us currently. Fortunately, unfortunately, we are completely booked for a longer period of time,
Correct.
but I have looking at our client base. There have been a lot of new clients that are wanting to try our service because of the whole situation also.
Correct. So obviously it makes sense because there's a pandemic out there. When you go out, you risk yourself being contaminated by the coronavirus. So and you do not
Right.
want to go out in crowded spaces where other people have been to, and obviously
Absolutely.
you don't also want to let someone inside your house who is unknown. So this
Absolutely.
makes a lot of a difference because the van comes right to your doorstep and grooms your dog, and you do not have to come in contact with anyone.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Cool. So we talked about how one could start their own grooming salon, in which you have to go through a series of process where you have to first find a location to open that salon, get get the renovation done, find out the right equipments that you need for the grooming to be done, which includes a spa tub, a grooming table, clippers, and a lot of other professional equipment which the groomers will use,
Yeah.
and creating the entire infrastructure of hot and cold water, air conditioning, and everything else. And then
Absolutely.
obviously, then once the setup is ready, marketing that salon.
Yeah.
Um, Now, flying for is franchising, obviously.
Yeah.
So, in fact, since I'm a part of the team, I know that the entire idea of of franchising also came into play because acquiring the expertise of grooming is difficult because, like we talked about, that even though there is no regulating body certifying groomers, there's still a lot of technical experience and knowledge that you will need to run a grooming salon. Uh,
Absolutely.
so now that Flying Fur is franchising, now there's an option of franchise taking a franchisee instead of opening your own salon. Why do we think that it's a better alternative for people? Why do you think that? How do you think exactly would it ease? What things? What are the things which you will not need to do since you've taken a franchisee?
Oh, it's very easy. You give us the money, we give you the business. I mean, uh, uh, so franchisee is, I mean, if you really look at it, it's a plug and play option for them. for anybody who's also a pet enthusiast and wants to do something I mean the category of pets which is growing by leaps and bounds, and is one industry that is definitely on the verge of exploding. That I mean, in terms of the how a franchisee helps is that it helps you lower your entire learning curve process. We've started franchising after being in business for 5 years. We realized there were a lot of difficulties that we faced in terms of when we started and when we started, and post that when we wanted to start franchising. The first being the understanding of how a mobile grooming salon has to function right from the inside, in terms of how the truck has to look, how the truck has to be operationally effective and efficient in terms of the design and the products that need to be used, in terms of getting the right kind of staff to use the service. I mean to basically I mean be employed at your end to give the service out. That is something that is not a very easy process, which we kind of help in providing training facility to the groomer. In terms of the whole merger we had, I mean, with the Petfed coming in for flying for, and you with the whole marketing acumen and the strength that you guys bring in terms of trying to activate a new city for a franchise and help them initially in their days of getting better sales. So all of that kind of adds up into a complete plug and play model, wherein they really need to just come and understand what the business is with us, spend some time. We'll give them a van that is absolutely ready to start business off. We'll help them provide the adequate training to the groomer. We help them in their launch, in their initial marketing stint that they need to get the initial set of customers. And then there is absolute hand-holding support that they have for all their consumables or everything that they need. We've been doing this for a fairly good amount of period of time, and we know where everything needs to be done.
and,
So that is
and I think
exactly what we are selling
yeah,
as a
and I think
franchise.
the biggest thing being training of the groomers.
Yeah,
That
absolutely, because
yeah,
they're not easily available. I mean, uh,
yeah,
you really need to have, and that's the essence of the service, right? I mean, it's not how fancy your truck is or whatever. It is how good the service is. It is essentially a service based business, and to get the right kind of people to perform that service is what is essential.
correct. So, so cool. I think this answers a lot of questions. If you were to start your own brand of grooming salon, there's a
Hmm.
lot of learning curve that you have to go through. You have to figure out what equipments to go in, how to train the staff, how to find the staff, how to reach out to the right set of audience, what consumables to buy, which shampoo is good, which shampoo is not good, all of those things. So all those things get sorted when you take a franchisee, because obviously we tell you how it's done and we train the
Yeah,
staff. Makes
absolutely, absolutely.
so. Can you just take, being the CA, I think this will be your favorite
Mhm.
question that you would want to answer. Can you take us through the entire process of taking a franchisee? How, like, what are the costs involved? How much money a person who is looking to take a franchisee puts up upfront? What are the
Sure.
reckoning expenses and things like that?
Sure, sure, sure. So basically, for buying a franchise, there are three basic elements in terms of the first initial cost that goes out. One is a down payment on the truck. You have an option either to take it on lease, or you want to buy it out straight out. Use a certain type of a forced truck, which is basically in your name, whoever the franchisee is. That is about between 2.5 lakh rupees, the down payment. There is a cost of about 7 lakh rupees, which is for the fabrication and the equipments inside the truck. That makes it completely ready to start the service off from day one, and then it is delivered to you. And there is a 3 lakh rupee franchise fees that we charge upfront for a period of 3 years to the prospective franchisee to basically which is kind of a combination of a franchise fees and a marketing fees that we use to activate a new city. So a total of about 12.5 lakh rupees is what you require to start a grooming business with
Correct.
Flying Fur. What we've seen is that I mean, in terms of your operational numbers, your cost elements are basically first cost being your staff cost, which is you need to have three people operating this. One is your head groomer, there is a helper, and then there is the driver of the van. Uh,
Right.
that is essentially a large part of the cost. Post that, there is the running cost of petrol, diesel. Petrol is used for the genset, diesel is for the running of the truck. There are consumables that you have to use, which include shampoos and certain medicated equipment and stuff like that. That is another portion of the cost that we allocate, and the third being certain other cost in terms of repair, maintenance, insurance costs, and all that you basically require. There is a monthly royalty fees that we charge from our franchisee, which is about 15,000 rupees a month, which and the rough approximate top line that you would uh, achieve is between 2.2 lakhs to about 2.5 lakhs, even 2.7 lakhs if you're doing really good business operations. And the cost of the total cost, including the EMI, is about a lakh and 10. So, I mean, really depending on how good you are in terms of operations, and how what is the kind of area that you're looking at, you can make between 80,000 rupees to a lakh and 20 per month by an investment of about 12 and a half lakhs, and the asset at the end of it is in your name.
Cool. So, that's a, I think there's a very pretty good return that someone's getting on their investment.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
And the good part is that it is a business that should thrive in the post COVID-19 world that we are
yeah,
living in.
absolutely. Correct. Makes a lot of sense. So,
So
uh,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead. You were saying something.
No, I'm just saying that in terms of what. So we were franchising even before COVID-19, right? We in just that in this particular period of time, what we've realized is that yes, our services cost, if you really look at it from a cost perspective, are slightly higher than the stationary fixed salon. But a lot of people that were initially kind of not wanting to take the service because they were very price sensitive have now turned to us, as we are now the only safe option available in terms of really, if you really look at it from the kind of situation or the world that we're living in currently. So in terms of converting a lot of customers, shouldn't say it, but yeah, COVID-19 has helped us. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, so that's primarily from a business perspective and nothing else.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I mean, I
so,
hope
so,
this
so
goes away, man.
yeah. So you mentioned that a franchisee looks at doing about 2.5 lakh rupees of revenue per month.
Yeah.
How many groomings does that entail? Like how
So
many
yeah,
groomings?
so basically, what happens is like grooming starts from a regular bath to a full grooming of a large dog. So it really depends on a kind of the time that it takes. It starts from about 35 minutes for one service, can go up to a couple of hours, and the pricing is such. So anywhere between 4 to 7 groomings per day is enough to reach that kind of a revenue, giving our average pricing per appointment.
Right. And what is the average value that customer would spend?
So about 1,500 to 1,700 rupees is what they're generally paying. Starts from about $1,000 and goes up to about 3,500 for a for an extra large breed. But the
Right.
average is about 1,600, 1,650.
Got it. So that makes up the entire day's revenue to be around 10-12 thousand bucks.
Yeah,
Um, average.
we've been doing about 15,000 this month.
So on a good day, obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
and how long does it take? Rahul has asked this question. What is the gestation period for break even? How long does it take for any franchisee to reach a break even point?
So, as per our calculations, we're looking at 1 year, 3 months, or 1 year, 4 months to recover your entire cost. But if you really look at it from a different angle, you are also getting an asset in return for it. So instead of just taking the entire cost, you should, if you really look at it, only the depreciation cost. It's even quicker on the entire investment that you're doing, because
Right.
everything has a realizable value at the end of it. बट इफ यू रियली वांट टू लुक एट इट प्योरली फ्रॉम कि कितने पैसे दिए, कितने आ रहे हैं और कितने पीरियड में मेरे उतने हो जाएंगे जितने मैंने पहले खर्चे थे, इज अबाउट 1 year, 2 months, 1 year, 3 months.
Got it. And what about the operational break even? At what point in time does the operational cash flow
A
become?
lakh in 10 or a lakh in 15. That's
How soon do you reach that?
See, it really depends on area to area. I mean, we've been able to do it in the second month onwards. I mean, operational break even is something that is absolutely possible from the second month onwards. I mean, there is a certain uniqueness attached to the business also, because of the way that the truck looks or the services that we are giving. There is a lot of interest on the customer side or the pet parent to kind of market it for us, flaunt it amongst their group. That really helps. I mean, and it catches the eye on the road, and there's I mean, in terms of that ripple effect, it really helps us kick-starting a new city, even from the second month onwards or the third month onwards.
Got it. So
And
the
then we have
operation.
you.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the operational break even is in about 2 months time. That is when
yeah, yeah,
you
absolutely.
stop putting in money from your own pocket. And in about a year and 3 months or year or 2 months, you get the entire money that you have invested, including the 12.5 lakhs initially back. And
Yeah, yeah,
whatever
absolutely.
profit you generate after that is completely pure profit and
Yeah, I mean,
does not.
in terms of the way the business is structured, 90%, 85% of your cost is fixed cost. So a lakh
Correct.
and 10, once you do reach that level, every new service that you do, 85% of that amount goes into net profit.
And
So that really helps. I mean, after you reach a break even, every service that you do, 85% of it goes right into your pocket.
correct. Because the element of fixed cost is very low.
So the element of variable cost is low. The fixed cost initially, once you reach the break even level, then
Right.
subsequently the fixed cost already been covered. The variable cost on a per appointment basis is very low.
Got it. Got it. Cool. And now let's talk about the franchisees which have already been there. So, how many franchisees? I know this. It's for the viewers. How many franchisees does Flying Fur have right now, and which all cities are we present in?
So we're currently in. We've got four franchises that are operational. A couple of them, don't want to name the cities, but I mean they're on. We've got 4 or 5 cities that we're hoping to launch in the next 2 months. We are currently looking to start operations. We already signed in Chandigarh. Looking to start Indore, and then Bombay, Bangalore. Currently, we have it in Gurgaon, Noida, and North Delhi. And I mean, in terms of the interest on the and oh, there's an interesting one in my favorite city, Goa, that we're looking at starting off. It's been interesting in terms of the cities that you're wanting to enter into, and what is the so there are so I'll just briefly tell you there is another model that we have for our non-metro cities also, in terms of the pricing and stuff like that we've kind of figured out. Which is also, we can, I mean, that's for anybody who's interested in starting it in a tier 2 or a tier 3 a non-metro city, because we feel that, yeah, the pricing might be differentiated. So
Correct.
we've been able to kind of be on our feet and try and find out new models in franchising in getting into new cities. And yeah, so we're looking forward to the next year to be really interesting and hopefully big for Flying Fur, in
Superb.
terms of just increasing our geographical footprint.
Yeah. And the last question, and I would also like to add that the longest running franchisee, how long has it been for them? It's the Noida
Uh,
franchisee.
2 years, yeah. So yeah, they're looking to get their second truck now. No, actually, it's been about a year and a half, and now they're
It's been,
looking at, yeah.
yeah, it's been a year and a half, and they're looking to get the second truck. So
Yeah, so
this
they've already recovered the cost for their first truck, and now looking to add another one in that area.
got it. So basically, this proves the point that an existing franchisee is
Yeah,
successful, and they're adding
it's
another
not only an Excel model; it's actually happening
truck.
on the ground. Yeah.
Got it. So cool. So I think that's about it. That's all the questions that we had for you. If the viewers
Great.
want to know anything more about the franchising model, You can go on the Flying Fur website, it's flyingfur.in, and we have a little form there that you can sign up with. You'll get a call back from our team. We'll tell you how the franchisee model works, how we help the franchisees to run their own businesses, and because the investment is very low, it's only 12.5 lakhs to start with. It's a very good business for anyone to start right now because it's people are looking at services which come to their doorstep instead of going out.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you get
Perfect.
to work with dogs
Perfect.
and your pets and fur friends. Yeah, so that helps.
Absolutely.
That
That's the
helps.
biggest thing, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, thank you, Ever. Thank you, guys. We'll
Thank
see
you
you
so
again.
much, Akshay. All right. Cheers. Thanks. Bye.